I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you a test problem. Here's a question from Advanced Functions, grade 12, Polynomial Equations and Inequalities. The question is, to factor a cubic equation, we are given coefficients in the form of fractions, and that sometimes makes things difficult for students. Now here is a strategy to solve such question. The strategy, as you know, is very simple. Just factor the fraction part away, right? So we can write this equation as 1 over 8 and within brackets rest of the equation. So if you factor out 1 over 8, then you can write rest as simple polynomial equation. In this case it will be minus q cube plus 5 times 2. So that is to say you have to multiply each by 8. When you multiply the first term by 8, you just get q, right? The coefficient is 8 divided by 8. Here you have to multiply by 8 divided by 4 is 2, so it becomes 10, and this case 4, this case 40. So let's do it. So we have 10q square plus 4 times q minus 5 times 8, which is 40. Now bracket close, equals to 0. That's an easy way of factoring. Do you see that? Now it's a simple polynomial to factor. You can try different numbers and see what gives you 0. So in this case, if you substitute the value of q as 2, then what do you get? Well, at this stage we can actually take away 1 over 8, but let me just keep it. Okay. So it is minus 2 cube plus 10 times 2 square plus 4 times 2 minus 40, correct? Now, we have to figure out how much it is. So what we found is it is indeed equals to minus 2 cube is 8 minus 8, and then we have this as 4 times 10 as 40 plus 8 minus 40, and that is indeed equal to 0. So that simply means that 2 is a factor of this polynomial, right? So now we can do synthetic division and find the other roots, correct? So let me do synthetic division right here on the right side of this page. Now in this particular case, the coefficients for us are minus 1, 10, 4, minus 40. And we need to divide it by 2. So when you perform synthetic division, what do you get? Bring down minus 1, multiply by 2, so get minus 2, add them up, 8, 16, add them up, 20, multiply and write, 40, add, you get 0. So as expected, the remainder is indeed 0. So the quadratic term which you have, it will be quadratic since cubic is divided by one linear factor. You have minus x square plus 8x plus 20. So that is the quadratic term which you have. Now this could be factored, right? So let me first take minus term out, so it becomes kind of simpler, and then rewrite this. So we get x squared minus 8x minus 20. To factor this, we are looking for two numbers whose sum is minus 8 and product is minus 20. The numbers are 10 and 2, right? So it is minus 10 plus 2, which will give you sum as minus 8, right? So we get this factor as x minus 10 times x plus 2, right? So let's bring all these terms together and rewrite our polynomial, correct? So we have the polynomial as this side, the left side, 1 over 8 times x minus 2, that since 2 was the first factor, and all these factors, which are x minus 10 times x plus 2 with a negative sign equals to 0, right? And from here we have to solve and write the solution. So q values, I should have written q actually. Okay, so I replaced q with x at this position. It should be all q. So well, let's say q equals to x for us. Okay, we just replaced it here. So now all the possible values which will give us 0 are the values which will make each one of these factors 0, right? So we get x equals to 2, x equals to 10, and x equals to minus 2, right? So our answer is, let me write down, since x is same as q, right? We just replace it, right? So let me say for this particular equation, the answer is q equals to plus or minus 2 or 10. So these are the solutions for the given equation, right? So here actually I replaced q with x, and that's the reason why we got mixed up with these two variables here, right? So you could actually write this in with replacing x with q also and write answer in q. Okay, so that is a suggestion. Anyway, you understand the technique. So what you should do when fractions are involved is factor the fractions, right? Now since this is the equation, there was no need to even write 1 over 8 on this side, right? We could have simplified and got the answer without all that. But at times you can get this equation to just factor and not to find the solution, right? In that case, this statement is helpful. I hope it helps. Thank you and all the best.